Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you how to move a simple cube in Unity. Let's open Unity and create a new project named Move Cube. This will take quite a time, so I will cut and continue when the project is open. Alright, first let's create a cube object. Over to here and right click 3D object and select cube. Sometimes it won't be centered. In that case you can go to gear icon here in the transform and you can hit select reset. It will automatically center it. Alright. As you see, the cube is in a 3D space. And moving it basically means changing this position, iterating this position. You know, like 1, then 2, then 3, and 4, etc. So we're going to do that in a script file. In a script file. Let's reset its position and maybe, you know, give 0.5 to Y value so that it will be, you know, stand on the XZ plane. Alright. Let's go to the project window and right click and create a script. We can name it CubeMovement. You can name it however you like. It doesn't matter. Let's select the cube and assign this script to our cube object here. All right. We click and drop here. It did that 2 times. Right. Let's remove this one. Right. Now let's double click on our script file. This will also take some time. I will cut from here and continue when the script is loaded. Alright. When the script is loaded, you're going to see 2 methods, start and update. Start will be called just once when the game started, whereas update will be called constantly, once per frame. Let's test it. Let's print something to the console, you know. Let's say, hey partner, because why not? Let's save this and return to Unity. We have to open our console here because that's where it will be outputted. Let's hit play. And as you see, the output appeared only once. But if we move it to updates, save and return, hit play, and you're going to see it outputted multiple times in each frame. Alright, we'll write the code here. Alright, we'll change the position here. Okay, to do that we are going to use transform. We are referencing the transform component here. With this, we are referencing the component. After that, we're going to use a function named translate. Now you might wonder, why aren't we using position? Because that's what, you know, controls the position. But position actually means the location where the cube is. Whereas we want to iterate you know, like that. And for that, we have to say to our object, move this amount of time in each frame. You know, add 1 to X, 0 to Y, and 0 to Z. And if we test it, you're going to understand what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. Let's play, and there we go. Moves too quickly, right? Yeah, you might notice it's moving too quickly, because that's for the fact that, you know, because it runs once per frame, and, you know, frames per second can vary depending on your hardware, you know, the 30 FPS, 60 FPS. For that reason, we have to use something called time.dataTime. And this, if we multiply our iteration with this value, this ensures that the translate function will be called once per second and not by frame. If we save and return to Unity and hit play, you see it moves much more than normal, right? Okay. Now we are hard coding this value, but we don't want that. We need to control the cube, and for that reason we have to detect input, and we can achieve that by calling inputs class and calling the get access. What this function does, you know, Unity has some input section. You can go edit, project settings, and inputs. There are some accesses here. You know, let's look at horizontal. There are buttons. In this input section, you can assign keys to any direction. Let's say in horizontal, this is just a name. If you press right, it will go to a direction, and if you press left, it means it will go to the opposite direction. You know, you can think of it like position button. When you press right arrow key, it will return a value of 1, and when you press left arrow key, it will return a value of -1. And this is how we can control the direction. And the beauty of this inputs, this access section, is that you can assign multiple keys to just one objective, to, you know, detecting direction. You know, there are alternative keys like A, D, or joystick keys, controller keys. So for that reason, we're going to use access, and you're going to understand how this works. We'll call input.getAccess. Let's print what this will do. Let's print this. We're going to call horizontal. Not call, you know, give horizontal as an argument. We can comment this line of code with 2 dashes. Let's save. Turn to Unity. Let's play. All right. You'll see the 0 in the console, and when you press right arrow key, there we go, you're going to see a positive value. When you press left arrow key, you're going to see a negative value. And when you press D, and if you press, you'll see positive, and A and negative. So there we go. You're assigning multiple keys for just one job. And it's much better approach than, you know, detecting every key separately, you know, when press left to when pressed D, when pressed A, do this, do that. And it's a much more, you know, time consuming process. You can just change this with this horizontal, and you can do the same for the Z axis, and let's call it vertical, and this will detect up, down, WS. Right, let's test it. Play, and there you go. We are moving. Nice. All right, but we don't have a speed. Actually, we have a speed, but we can't control it, right? But we want that. Let's create a public float variable named speed, and let's give it 10f for default value. You can give it anything you want. We make it public because that way we can change it from Unity. There we go. Speed. You can change it. Whoa, I forgot something. We have to multiply speed with this. All right, let's do same for the Z-axis. Let's save. Let's test it. Hit play. There we go. Now we are much faster, and we can change it however we like. Let's give 30. Much speed. Whoa. Or let's give 2. There you go. Okay. Yes, we moved a cube. All right. But there are some things to do. You know, we got the desired functionality, but we can be more organized, right? Always. Let's create 2 variables named horizontal, and let's give this to that, and let's pass this value to there. Let's make the same for vertical. Transfer this to there. Copy. Good. I don't know about you, but for me, this is much more organized. And if you don't want this to stay here, you know, doing nothing, you can actually do that in here. Yeah. Right now, everything has a purpose. Right. Or you can just delete it. Okay. Let's make it more visually attractive. All right. Right now, it's just, you know, what doesn't describe what it is. Let's create a plane, and let's call it floor, because that's what we stand on, right? And let's call this player. Let's personalize it a little bit, and of course, not make it invisible. Oh, whoa. All right, floor must be reset. There you go. All right, now let's give some colors. We're going to achieve that with materials. Create material. Let's name player material. Let's choose a color. Choose red. And you can just click and drag and drop. It's easy. Let's create another call it floor material. Floor material. And you can just, now first we have to give color. You can just, there you go. And you can also get your camera much more closer. You can also elevate a little bit. All right, there we go. Now we have a movable object. You can totally play that. All right, thanks for watching this video, and see you on my next videos. And if you like this, please press like. If you don't, well, I'm sad. Goodbye. Bye.